Here are 20 obscure facts about Sega. 1. The name Sega is derived from the first two letters of the words Service Games, which was the original name of the company. 2. Sega originally began as a distributor of coin-operated arcade games in Japan in 1951, and only entered the video game industry in the 1980s. 3. One of Sega's first successful arcade games was 1981's Pengo, which involved a penguin pushing ice blocks to defeat enemies. 4. Sega's iconic Sonic the Hedgehog character was created in response to Nintendo's Super Mario franchise, with Sega seeking to create its own flagship character. 5. Before creating video games, Sega made several popular pinball machines in the 1960s and 1970s. 6. Sega was the first video game company to release a 16-bit home console, the Sega Genesis, which debuted in 1988. 7. The Sega Genesis was originally released in Japan under the name Mega Drive. 8. The Sega Saturn, released in 1994, was a commercial failure in the United States but enjoyed moderate success in Japan. 9. In 1999, Sega released the Dreamcast, which was the first console to include a built-in modem for online gaming. 10. Sega's final home console, the Dreamcast, was discontinued in 2001 after the company stopped producing hardware and switched to a third-party software development model. 11. Sega has had several memorable arcade game franchises, including Space Harrier, Outrun, and Afterburner. 12. In 1991, Sega released the Sega CD add-on for the Genesis, which allowed the console to play games on CD-ROM. 13. Sega has had several famous mascots over the years, including Sonic the Hedgehog, Alex Kidd, and Opa Opa. 14. Sega produced several educational video games in the 1990s, including Math Blaster Episode 1, In Search of Spot, and The Magic School Bus. 15. In 1997, Sega released Sega Bass Fishing, which was the first fishing game to use a fishing rod peripheral. 16. In the mid-1990s, Sega produced a virtual pet simulator called Seaman, which used voice recognition technology and a microphone peripheral. 17. Before entering the video game industry, Sega produced several electromechanical games, including the popular Periscope in 1966. 18. Sega's first console, the SG-1000, was released in Japan in 1983, but was never released in North America. 19. Sega's arcade game, Crazy Taxi, was inspired by real-life taxi drivers in San Francisco. 20. In the early 1990s, Sega briefly dabbled in the personal digital assistant market, releasing the PDA device, the Pico.